Want to know where to plant your creative flag so you can grow your business to consistent 10K months this year? So, this is so important that I'm speaking to today because this is an inner tension that a lot of my clients come to me with. And my clients are mostly female creative coaches who feel this inner tension between their masculine side and their feminine side, which is their creative side versus the more pushing structural side. And as a creative who is also highly electric, I've, been and still mastering this navigating or integrating these two sides of me. So I feel it's really important for me to speak to this today so that I can shed some light on the matter because, I've been experiencing this most of my life. It's part of my life journey, and definitely my clients who resonate with my energy and obviously my expertise are sharing with me that they're feeling the same too. So perhaps as a creative coach, you've been down the path of, satisfying the woo-woo side of your soul level work. And whilst that's been very satisfying for you and it really enriches and fills up your soul every time you do it, and when you do it, you just feel like this is who I am. This is how it just comes so naturally to me. And when I'm doing this work, I just feel so on, like I'm so in my element, so in my power. But the downside to it is perhaps because you've been steeped into that woo-woo side, really exploring that transformational work, helping your clients, that for some reason on the financial side, it doesn't translate. And, you're struggling to meet your financial goals. And if you're trying to grow your income to consistent 10K months, you're finding it quite elusive at this stage. Maybe you're at 3K months or 5K months. You're just trying to shift the needle, but it's just not budging and certainly not growing to consistent 10K months. And maybe because you're so kind of stuck in that, well, I love my work, but it's not making money, so to speak, then you try to go more mainstream, hoping that maybe if you tone down your work and try to make it more acceptable by the mainstream, then maybe the money would flow in. So you've been that side of the path or the equation, so to speak. And yes, clients are coming in, but then you're kind of dreading the work because you're feeling like your work has been dumbed down. It's not the kind of, deep work that you really enjoy doing. You're almost feeling like you're boxing yourself in just so that, your clients, the more mainstream clients can accept you and obviously pay you for your work. So if you're feeling that, just know that, I've been there and done that. And I certainly, with my clients, I, am helping them out of that issue all the time. And certainly my whole life journey really speaks to this tension that, maybe you're knocking doors on the creative side and you're finding something is off. And then you're going off to the masculine side, knocking doors on that side. And just wondering, oh my God, where the heck do I fit in? Because something is just off from either side. And for me personally, my creative spirit is part of my soul design. I was born into this lifetime with that creative spirit. But in this lifetime, I was born into a very traditional Chinese family who was, prided on rules and very rigid. And it definitely, when I speak to my mum and dad, they would say to me that when I was born, they didn't know what to do with me because I was so curious and so creative and quite rebellious, to be honest. And I'm sure that you, as a creative, would relate to that, that creative curiosity that makes us always question outside the box, not readily accepting what people would just tell us. So when my parents obviously saw that potential in me, they were absolutely petrified because they were thinking, oh my God, if we let this child just run off and explore and be curious, oh my goodness, who knows what kind of trouble she would end up in. And that's why in their way, in their very loving, best intentioned way of trying to protect me, they reined me in with structure, with the rules, and telling me that, this is wrong. And, anything that's kind of outside the box, maybe playing, messing up, being creative, it's all kind of wrong. So then I guess I was, from a very early age, I was kind of trained to come out of my creative and go more into my masculine. Maybe feeling that there was something wrong with being creative, that, to be right in the world, or to, I guess, be accepted in the world, I needed to be more on the masculine side. I mean, hence, and being a type A high achiever type, that kind of fitted me well, because then I was a high achiever in school and all of that. So, then through my career, then again, that creative calling couldn't be silenced, and came out again when I decided I was going to be a fashion designer as part of my university degree. So there you go, me trying to break out of my masculine traditional upbringing and, making designing, which is, I guess, the ultimate creativity degree, to explore, answer the calling. And, I have to be honest, in the beginning years of that 4-year degree, it was absolutely painful, because I was just terrified all the time when all the assignments and all the exercises were all about breaking out of the box, where I've been trained to feel that it's dangerous to be out of the box. And here we go, my lecturers are saying to me, you need to stop being so perfect. To be a great designer, you need to be a rebel, you need to push the boundaries, and you need to, explore the possibilities outside of what is right, and stop being so doing the right thing all the time. So yeah, my first 2 years of my design degree was, as I said, very painful, because it just totally rubbed me up the wrong way and tested my comfort zone, because I was indoctrinated with the idea that mess was dangerous, mess was not safe. So I definitely feel you, because as you can see from my story, I've been kind of bounced around from the creative to the masculine, and then my creative side couldn't be silenced, and it came through in the degree. And if I look back through the trajectory of my life, I've actually somehow, obviously through listening to my intuition and my connection to the multi-D, the universe has led me to then become a support to creatives, because in actual fact, my mum was a creative, my husband, who was a pastry chef, is a creative. Along my journey, because of my masculine electric side, I actually became a business lecturer to designers and creatives. So definitely I feel you about this tension, and if anything, my journey has been about dipping my toe, not even just the toe, I guess immersing myself in both sides of the equation, and always trying to, I guess, find my place. And it wasn't until I realized that, hang on, I've been a support to creatives all my life. And, when I was trying to build my business from $200 up to 6 figures and beyond, I was trying to find out where do I plant my flag, because I was trying to find my place. And it wasn't until I realized that, wow, my flag is about integrating these two sides. Because I actually did it intuitively for my clients. I work with my husband in our other company where we are hospitality consultants. And, we come up with solutions for people in the hospitality industry. My husband is very much the creative power in the mix, because he's the pastry chef. But I found that my masculine electric side was able to provide the structures to support his genius. But because I have that creative side, those supportive structures was just naturally attuned to how he functioned as a creative, that our business really blossomed and thrived and grew, that we got to the point where we are now in the process of, building our own store, and in the process of receiving, 7 figures into our company. So I guess what I'm trying to share with you is that it wasn't until I realized where my place was. And my place wasn't only just on one side, the creative, and then turning my back on the masculine side. It was actually, I found the middle road. But that middle road obviously was a process of much exploration and experimentation to come to that path of integration. So I guess the question I like to ask you is, if you could really allow yourself to take off all the shoulds, the coulds, the have tos off the table, all right? So maybe in a way, let's just park your mental thinking mind, your more electric, more kind of do, action-oriented masculine self. Let's just park it on the side. And tune into your heart center, which is your more feminine, more intuitive, emotional side, certainly your creative side. What do you sense is the most aligned place for you to plant your creative flag this year so you can grow your business to consistent 10K months? So let's tune into that. Really anchor into your heart and feel into that. And, to kind of, we're not shutting up our mental mind, we're just kind of putting it aside, allowing our heart to come to the forefront and the foreground so that we're giving it space to actually express to us its truth. What do you sense? What is it saying to you about where is the most aligned place to plant your flag this year in 2022 so that you can really make that vision of growing your coaching business to consistent 10K months a reality? Okay, so did you feel into, that emotion? Where was that place? And I guess I want you to kind of tune into the fact that maybe that place isn't exactly where you think it should be. Maybe, again, if we bring our mental, logical mind into the picture, maybe it's thinking it should be like dead straight center, like half, like it was 50% creative, 50% masculine. That would be the sweet spot. But if you tuned into, what your heart was telling you, maybe it wasn't exactly the 50-50 equation. Maybe it's an 80-20 rule for you. Maybe it's a 10-90 rule for you. And, maybe yours is a little bit off center a little bit. Maybe it's a 40-60 rule, right? So what I'm trying to speak to then, which is what you might have sensed, is there's actually no right answer to this equation. And what I really want to talk to is, how do you decide, or how do we get a sense of where to plant it? To give you, I guess, more of a methodology or probably a process for you to think about this. Because I know that this is an important topic. We are at the beginning of the year. You're probably looking again at your vision and your goals for the year, your financial goals, and obviously you're concerned and worried about, well, how am I going to get my business to 10K months based on where you're at? And probably it's coming up for you that you've got to make some clear decisions. So I'm talking to this to help you to come to some clarity around these two sides that you're trying to navigate. So I would say the first thing is to be able to come to the point where you can decide where to plant that creative flag. It's actually to honor first your creative, feminine, messy side, your heart, and to let it lead. Now, this might be like counterintuitive for you because maybe you've been on many years of turning that off, disconnecting from it because you find that it hasn't been serving you so well, and you actually told yourself, okay, that's the end of that. Let's go down the more masculine, more electric, do action oriented stuff, because that's maybe people have told you before that it's more grounded. That's what you got to do if you want to make a business work. So what I'm trying to say is, we're not saying to ignore the masculine, because like I said, when we tuned into that exercise previously, we were trying to get you to feel into your place within those two, I guess, realms, so to speak. So the first piece I guess I'm inviting you to look at is to actually honor first your creative side, your heart, your feminine power, and to let that lead. And maybe you're saying to me, oh my God, Sue Chen, thank God, finally somebody is actually allowing me to have my creative or my heart come to the surface, because I've been kind of like shutting it up for a while. But then you might be thinking, but Sue Chen, I've been there and I've done that and it hasn't really worked. And if anything, I've been hurt by being, quite vulnerable and expressive with my work. And look, I want to kind of say to you that I feel you, because, from my story, I'm sure you can relate that I've been there as a designer, as a creative. Whether it depends on how you express your creativity through your business or through other forms. I'm sure you're doing that in your life. Because we are a creative in our soul design, that's how we're made, that's how we operate. It is possible that many times when people criticize or judge it, it's a very real personal attack. Not that that person is trying to attack us, but we feel it acutely in our heart because we are so connected to our work, because it's an expression of who we are. So definitely, if people are saying, oh, that looks ugly, or that's not going to work, or you must be crazy, or you're such a dreamer, and oh goodness, what? That's like, and you're such a flake, you'd never have, all your dreams never amount to anything. Like, if those are the comments that you've received, just know that I feel you. That's the territory of being a creative. But what I would like to suggest, and why I'm suggesting it's so important that we bring our heart and our creative into the foreground, to allow it to have its space, not shoved at the back of the cupboard or swept under the rug. We actually bring it to the light. Is that at the end of the day, because of how you're made and because you're here with a mission and your soul level work, the heart is really the core of your powerhouse as a creative. And it's actually your portal to your connection to the universe, to your gifts, to the multi-D. And this may be surprising to you. It actually also then signals to your masculine or your electric side on how it can support you. So can you kind of see why it's so important? So at the end of the day, your heart, your creative power, all roads lead to it. And it's really the epicenter of this creative powerhouse that you are. So it's really important that when we're trying to decide where to plant our flag, and like I said, the point of this video today is to help you to come to a decision of where is the best, most aligned position for your flag. We first need to accept and acknowledge the realms or the context of what we're really working with. And the first and foremost is acknowledging your creative power, the creative heart of everything. The second thing is to now then honor also the masculine electric side, because that side is, I guess, the more 3D reality version that helps to ground that heart source of everything. So if you can think about your heart as the magnet or the magnetic force that brings everything to you, the creative ideas, your downloads, your inspiration from your connection to the universe, and your message that you're here to deliver through helping your clients on this earth, then the masculine structural side of things is here to help you land it or manifest it or ground it in the 3D. So it becomes a package, and your package can be, a basket, that package can be then delivered in a way that your clients and your community and it's best received here on earth for your legacy to be continued for generations to come. So if I'm saying this to you and like, oh, okay, Suchin, I'm kind of warming up to the whole electric thing, because possibly, you've tried the electric masculine way and it totally rubs you the wrong way. It just makes you feel trapped. And again, if you remember back to my story, as a young creative mind where I was, such a rebel and trying to do everything, and all of a sudden the rules and the punishment that I received as a result of being messy, I think you can relate, and I definitely can relate to you if you feel trapped or suffocated or made to feel wrong, that there's something wrong with you when the masculine comes into place. So I feel you, but what I want to again suggest or invite you to contemplate is that think of the masculine not as per the very rigid structures that you may have come across, the structures that, maybe in the form of the do, and the pushing and the chasing and the competing and the comparing and always not feeling good enough and all the targets and all of that. That could be through your experience, but perhaps I'm asking you to kind of shift your perspective to look at it in the form of a canvas. So that's a form of a structure. That's a form of a masculine structure. Or another visual I can give to you is the idea of the riverbank. So the riverbank meanders with the river, but it certainly is there to support the flow of the river so that the river doesn't get out of control and then, breaks through the villages and then floods everything. And then for those of you who are very emotional, maybe they're dancers out there, the masculine or the men in the ballroom dancing has always been referred to the frame, whereas the woman, which is the heart, has always been referred to the picture in the frame. And so again, so that's a very lovely, beautiful combination to see masculine as a support to your feminine, to your creative power. And, the male in the ballroom dancing, in partner dancing, his job is to make you feel good. But for him to do his job well, for the masculine, more electric side of you to do its job well, you really need to own your creative power first, because that power, like I said before, it's the portal through which your connection to the multi-D comes through, and also it signals to the masculine how you would like him to support you. So far we've talked about, the two ways, the honoring the two sides, your creative, which is your heart, and then your more masculine, which is the more thinking mind, more electric, more action-oriented side. So the third way, which we're now coming closer to giving you a better idea of where to plant your flag, is to feel your way. So in the realms of the creative power and the realms of the masculine electric energy of actions, where is it that you best sit? And like I said before, in the exercise that we did, it isn't necessarily going to be 50-50, like straight cut through in the middle. Your place could very well be a 10-90 or 80-20, with a more leaning towards the feminine side, and then less on the masculine side, or it could be the other way around. So the third way is to find that place that allows you to marry the creative and the electric in a way that is most aligned to who you are. So to be able to find that middle road, and you know, a lot of you probably have been, as creatives, you know, exploring and knocking on doors down the creative side, and then you've gone to the other extreme, knocking on doors on the masculine side. I want you to know that that has not been wasted. Maybe, you know, but in the back of your mind, maybe in the dark of night, you're blaming yourself and judging yourself and just calling yourself terrible names for, oh, why did I waste my time going down that path? Gosh, I was an idiot. If only I had thought of, listened to my heart, I would have been fine. Maybe it would all worked out well. I want to honor you to say that everything that you've been through, all the trial and errors, all the experimentations, all the detours, they are all necessary. Because if you didn't go and explore what's out there or what the boundary looks like or what it feels like, there is no way that you can then come to find your own unique way. Which is what really leads to what I would really talk about is that middle ground, that middle road, that place of integration is that discovery, and that what's going to help you decide that is your unique power. Like, what makes you you? What is it that makes your combination that best sits well with you? You know, how much percentage of creative, how much percentage of masculine? And look, it may change from moment to moment, who knows? But to be able to find that integration path, we really then need to tap into what's your unique power. So, in 2022, if you really had enough of hitting up against these two sides and fighting against, where should I be? I went to the feminine, I went to the creative, doesn't feel great. Something is off. Then you try the masculine, you're like, nah, this feels awful. So if you've had enough of hitting against these two walls and just going, where the hell should I be sitting? And you're just sick and tired of going around in circles trying to find your place, then know that unless you tap into what your unique power is, 2022 is going to be another year of frustration for you. Tell me how I know that, because obviously, you know, I've been pretty much in these years, in my whole lifetime now, 45 years of being experimenting, working with professionals and all of that. Now, I think it's important for me to then kind of let you know that if you're just tuning to me right now for the first time, my name is Sue Chen Lo, and I'm a creative power business alchemist. So what that means is that I help women, female coaches, and creative coaches at that, to grow their business to consistent 10K months, without the struggle, without the people pleasing, definitely without having to prove themselves, by harnessing their creativity and building supportive business structures, canvases, frames, you know, riverbanks, so to speak, to your creative genius, so that you can actually reach your financial goals, but most ultimately to finally be in control of your income, your life, and your destiny. So if you've had enough of being stuck in that place of where's my place, I want to plant my flag, I would say the best person that can help you with that would be me, of course, based on my life journey of what I've been through. As I said, 45 years, I was born into this realm, a creative spirit, having to be reined in by masculine structures, and then through my professional career lives, helping other creatives reach their successes, and obviously finding my own place, and then creating six figures from my coaching business as a result. My professional personal experience altogether makes me the best person in your corner, because I feel your pain. I've been there. I've also kind of knocked my head against the wall and bruised myself, you know, cuts and bruises from multiples of trial and errors. So I would be the best person, because I would be able to help you to cut through all the noise from here on out, so that you could actually get to your consistent 10K months that much faster, because I've been there and done that. So I'm a different kind of business coach because, like I said, I'm a creative power business alchemist. And so I'm not going to be like a typical business coach where I'm going to tell you what to do, because I've been there where I've had people tell me what to do. And I know as a creative, your rebellious side just cannot help but rise to the surface, and you will just resist and you're not going to do anything. So, but I've learned through my journey and my professional experience that customizing, like I said, allowing that riverbank, allowing the canvas to be that boundary for you to express, to show your creativity, show your unique power. That's what I will be for you. And, I'm certainly not going to tell you that please dim down your creative power because it's hard to sell and you're not going to make money from that. So I've been someone in that journey too, where many business coaches have told me the same, and I've hit up against lots of societies, ideas of how a creative is just a dreamer and a flake and just amount to nothing. But I have proved contrary to that again and again and again through all areas of my life, not only in my business, but for my clients' businesses. And so I would never tell you to dim your power. If anything, in my monetize your creative power method, I'm going to tell you we need to amp that up. When we discover what your unique power truly is by embracing all of you, right? Your dark side as well as your light, bright and the good stuff, all of you, we're going to amp that up. And when we amp that up, well, because your energy and money is energy, they can't help but just come together, and we're going to have a combustion in the process. And so if this resonates with you and what I'm sharing with you resonates with you, and you would love to have me as a coach in your corner, then definitely drop a heart emoji below so that we can talk and make this happen for you in 2022. Because your electric side might say to you, oh, well, I don't know, she's probably another coach who's going to tell you what you need to hear. But I'm sure that if you allow your heart center to tune into what I'm saying, your heart never lies. And your heart knows that if we are a great match and I'm speaking to what your heart wants, and now, in this exercise or in this video, I've allowed your heart to kind of come to the forefront, then let your heart lead you to have a conversation with me. It's a free, no obligation conversation, but it's a conversation that, if nothing else, is going to help you to establish where is it that you're at, where is it that you want to go, and the roadmap. And like I said, that roadmap is me being your frame, so to speak, so that you can be the beautiful picture that comes to light, so that everybody can admire and experience your power, your beauty, your legacy, and the impact of your soul level work. So if I feel like the right frame or the right canvas or the right riverbank for you, then definitely drop an emoji, heart emoji below, and let's have a conversation.